and welcome to another edition of the One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
I'm Kyle. How are you doing today?
Slowly but surely getting my voice back, but I'm doing well.
Good, good, good. Yeah, same here, same here. Gearing up for a exciting another weekend of Union soccer, hopefully.
Yes, heading to
So,
Montreal tomorrow.
so depending on when you hear this, will probably be out the week after Montreal. But we got another exciting guest coming up. Today's episode.
Yes, we do. So we are having a chat with Eddy Davis, who is forward for Union 2.
Yeah, and so we'll go ahead and get started here, and hope you enjoy our interview with Eddie Davis. All right, so we're here with our guest today. He is Union 2 forward and two-time MLS Next Pro Rising Star of the Month, Eddie Davis. Eddie, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be here with you guys.
We're real excited as well. I know some of the Bridge Brigade, when talking with us, have said, "Hey, man, you gotta have Eddie on the show. We'd love to hear from him." So glad we can make this work, and excited to get to know you, and for the fans to get to know you as well.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good. Let's do it.
All right. So growing up, how did you get started in soccer and did you play any other sports?
Yeah, I started playing soccer around when I was about 4 years old, but both of my parents ran track in the Olympics for Team USA, and my grandfather managed the Mets. He's played MLB baseball, so I played all kind of sports growing up. I didn't really choose soccer until I was about 12 years old. I started with baseball, basketball were probably my main ones, but then as I grew older, I decided I just grew a passion for the sport of soccer.
That's awesome. So, when you said your grandfather played for the Mets and managed the Mets?
He managed the Mets.
What year?
I think it was around '06, '07. He won Manager of the Year in 2000 with the
Yeah,
White Sox. Jerry
yeah,
Daniel is his
yep,
name.
yep,
That's impressive. You come quite from the athletic pedigree there.
yeah.
Yeah, sports with our family. Yeah.
Yeah. What Olympics were your parents? You said your parents ran the Olympics.
Yeah, my dad was in the '99 World Championships. He ran with Michael Johnson. They won a gold
Mhm.
together in the 4x4 relay, and I don't know what my mom was.
Speaking of your parents, family going through sports for us as former athletes as well is really important. What was it like to have your parents as a support system? And then you grew up in LA, moving away from there to go to Red Bulls. What was that process and how were they as support throughout the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, that was probably one of the hardest decisions of my entire career, because
Mhm.
my family's such a tight-knit family. We never been away from each other for probably longer than a week. So for my mom to allow me, because me and her have such a tight bond, to allow me to leave our home on my 15th birthday, the amount of nights that we cried together, and so, like, it was just a rough, rough decision, but it showed, honestly, that she had the ultimate trust in my ability, and she, had faith in the player that I could end up becoming. So it was a tough decision, but to have that support and have that trust, like, I knew she wouldn't just do that for no reason if she didn't see anything in me. So that was a pretty special moment, I'd say, allowing her or letting me do that. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and, were there times early on that, you find yourself I know when I went to boarding school, it was some nights talking to my parents like, "Hey, man, I don't know if I can do this," you know? Were there nights like that? And, how'd you manage them early on?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I was staying with a host family. I was staying in the basement. So some nights I started at Red Bulls, and some nights where I wouldn't have a good training, I just call my family, be like, it's time to go back home. Like, I can't do this. And I'm like, trust, just give it time, like it'll all work out, like God's got you. Um, and yeah, but the beginning is always the hardest part, but
Mhm.
now 3 years, just turned 18, been over here in the East Coast for 3 years now. I kinda gotten used to it, so but the first part was really, really hard, but there's always still moments of that, like, my mom was just out here for 2 months, and I didn't want her to leave, so,
Mhm.
Mhm.
miss my family still, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you balance soccer and academics and also having a social life?
Mhm. Yeah, the social aspect of it is kind of hard, but I feel like the, like, academic piece is pretty easy with YSC. The teachers and everyone do a great job in managing that, but just with the social life, I haven't met many people out here besides my teammates.
Mhm.
So just trying to keep up with my friends in LA, but obviously I'm busy with soccer most of the time. So the social life I'm still trying to adjust to, but the academic part is pretty simple with YSC. They've done a great job to help me acclimate to the situation.
Yeah, we've heard really great things, talking with Neil and with Frankie. We've had them on, and had a lot of glowing reviews about it as well. And I think that's, I'm a teacher, so I appreciate hearing about that academic side of it. So
Yeah.
awesome.
So, moving from LA, you go to Red Bulls. What was ultimately your decision um, with to choose Red Bulls to go into that academy? And then ultimately, do you go from the Red Bull Academy to Union 2? What was that decision like? So walk us through
Mhm.
that a little bit.
All right. Yeah. So I was in the LA Academy
Mhm.
bit when I was around 12 years old. I ended up getting cut after a season, just dealt with injuries a bunch. And I quit soccer for about a year and a half to just pursue basketball and baseball. That's what I wanted to do. And then got back into the sport and started playing on my local club and started getting eyes on me back at LAFC, but I don't want to go back there. And then New York Red Bulls rang my phone, and we just saw the track record of all the players they produce, such as Tyler Adams, Caden Clark. So we felt like this was a great opportunity to become a pro, and my aspiration is obviously to play in Europe. So that was a great stepping stone for me to go from LA to Red Bulls, but they wanted me to play a bit of a different position. And the union came after my first season with the Red Bulls. I had a pretty good season, and our visions aligned for myself and for my career. They saw me as a striker. I see myself as a striker, not playing left back. So yeah, it was a pretty good decision. And then seeing the track record that the union has is not close to anyone with all the homegrowns and people that they've produced. So it was like, wow, this is where I want to be if I'm going to play soccer in America. So joining the academy, and then after my first year, U17, moving up to Union 2. So that's where we are now.
What was it like going from that U17 up to Union 2? Was it pretty seamless, like in way the style, or just night and day?
Yeah, no, I'd say the style, of course, is the same. Like we preach the same methodology through up from the academy up to the first team. But I'd say that probably the biggest difference was just the physicality, like playing with grown men. I'm used to just using my athletic abilities to just blow by defenders and win all these headers and stuff. But I'm playing against 23, 24-year-old center backs, and it's a whole different sport trying to learn how to score different types of goals and stuff. It's been pretty difficult, but now I put a lot of work in over the break, over the winter break, and I'm seeing to the rewards of that work that I've had put in so far. But it was a difficult sort of transition, but now I'm seeing it, my work pay success.
So, what would you say are the biggest similarities and differences between the Red Bulls and the Union that you've noticed with both?
I'd say the playing styles for sure. Like when you watch us play, it's super the same methodologies. The pressing, that was something like in LA. It's a lot of Hispanic players, so we like to pass the ball a lot, play tiki taka type of soccer. But moving to the East Coast was a whole different sport. Like it's way more physical. Um, and yeah, that was probably the same similarities I saw with the Red Bulls and Union 2. Just the intensity and the energy and the press was something that you don't ever see on the West Coast.
So let's talk about who's had the biggest impact on your career, and then also who do you model your soccer game after?
Yeah. I'd say the person who's probably had the biggest impact on my career is our assistant coach, Bradford Jameson. I've known him since I was 5 years old. He was playing for Galaxy, uh,
Hmm.
won a MLS title there, and I ended up bringing him over here to the Union. But all the little things he's taught me about how to be a pro and certain little tricks and stuff like that to help me at this next level. Like, I honestly don't know what kind of player I would have been without him. So he's been a great person to have in my corner ever since I was young. And the person I model my career after is probably Thierry Henry. We have similar
Hmm.
builds, same position basically. So watching someone like that play at the highest level who has my similar framework, I love to watch his game. Like before my game, I'm watching Thierry Henry highlights.
Hey, you mentioned Brett for a second there, and what's the best bit of advice he's given you?
Um, Probably just that consistency and your confidence comes from not only what you do on the field, but what happens off the field. So like me winning a rising star of the month or whatever, like of course that's awesome, but that came from all the stuff that I've been doing outside, all my pre-work, all my extra trainings, and just sticking to a schedule. So just confidence comes from a routine and sticking to that. That's probably been the biggest words of advice, and that's helped me through this entire season.
Right. So, who have you made connections with on the first team?
Um, Mainly the guys who come down with us. I'm cool with Marcus Anderson, Sanders Gabo, Makanya, and then Quinn, Nate, and Jack McGlynn are pretty cool guys. I see them around a lot.
Now, have you trained with the first team and worked with the head coach Jim Curtin at all?
I've not yet. I've done a couple IDPs with the first team strikers like
Mhm.
Uba,
Mhm.
Rafa, Dono. We've done IDPs together, but I haven't been in a training. But I've talked to Jim a couple times. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, and head coach Marlon LeBlanc. How would you describe him as a coach and as a person on and off the field?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say as a coach, like he preaches development, and so far he's stuck to that, and he's always looking in our best interests. He wants us to win, but he always puts the development first, and that's something that I really, really appreciate, especially in this point of my career. And I'd say he's a great person. He's easy to talk to, always has something to say. We can always laugh, always has a joke. So I think he's a great guy and a great coach as well.
Awesome, awesome. Do you have any pregame rituals? And if so, what are they and have they changed over time?
Pregame rituals. Not really. I mean, I just talk to my family. We get on a group FaceTime. I call my
Mhm.
entire family, grandparents, uncles, everyone, get on the phone, pray, whatever it is. And then typically I just like to lock in by myself. If that's just in my room, visualizing how I see the game going, visualizing myself scoring. I do a lot of visualization, I'd say, and just talking to my family back home in LA.
Yeah, I love that you do visualization. We do that with our swimmers too. I think that's really, yeah, I think that's really important. So, now is it difficult to stay ready and focused when someone from the first team comes down for a start 1 week after you started the week prior?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, always I know my job and I know what I have to do, so I can't let that affect me whenever
Mhm.
I get dropped for a first team guy because I know that's really out of my control. But all I can do is do the best I can when I come on the field and give my best for the team. But it is something I've had to adjust to, for sure. But I mean, I love it. I love the competition, and I love still getting on the field and getting the chance to prove myself.
When you think about your future, are you looking at maybe the college route? You looking to go pro, sign first team contract? Kind of where are you with your thoughts? Are you just kind of taking it day by day?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say in this whole 3 years I've been over here, it's just all been about patience and not rushing into anything, not committing to anything. But my aspirations is to play in Europe. So we're just taking it day by day and to see what next step aligns with my ultimate goal, my ultimate vision, which is to play in Europe. So as of now, nothing yet. We're just still, like I said, taking it day by day. But I want to play professionally in a top 5 league in Europe. So however I can get there, I'm gonna work for that every single day.
Excellent.
Awesome. So we have a couple fun questions for you. We ask this of every Union 2 player, and this should come as no surprise, but what's your favorite hug flavor?
I never saw what those were before I moved out here.
Really?
Yeah, I'd never heard of a
What?
hug.
Wow.
Yeah.
Must be an East
Um,
Coast thing.
Well,
yeah, it must be. Um, Probably the red one or the grape one. Those are my favorites. I always
Oh,
Kyle, throw me the grape one every
ah,
time.
nice.
nice. All right. All right.
Because
Because we always hear blue. I think,
yeah,
but
like
didn't,
blue.
but Rick said green, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Rick said green. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We hear blue a lot, but no, it's good to hear something different. And I stand by the grape choice. Grape's good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And we also asked Frankie this, and there this was a question asked of Brandon Marsh on the Phillies when he was mic'd up one time. We love this question, but if you're going to be in a rock band, which teammates are in it with you?
Mm, that's a great question. Frankie, of course. That's my dog on and off the field. We have the same energy in the locker room.
Mhm.
I would say Neil too, but sometimes he's a little shy. Like I don't know if he'd be really out there. I'd probably get Alex Perez. He's the one that would be out there. He'd be willing to be in that. And then probably like Tucker and Mike Sheridan. I'd get them in there too. I get those guys.
Nice, nice.
Nice.
Good choice. One last question I have. So when you're back home in LA, like what's something that Eddie Davis likes to do to unwind, relax, and just hang out? What's that thing when you're back home?
Yeah, I mean, obviously go see my family. Every one of
Right.
my family's in LA, and I love going to the beach. So like just going to the Santa Monica Pier or something and just
Hmm.
relaxing by the beach. I mean, I know we have the Jersey Shore here, but the beach is like 10 minutes from my house in LA. So just going to the beach for a bit, juggling on the water, like I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely a different vibe out there,
Yeah.
as opposed to going out here down the shore. So,
Love the
uh,
Santa Monica Pier.
yeah, we went there after when we were at
Yeah.
the MLS Cup
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
2
yeah.
years ago. But
It's a nice place.
yeah, we enjoyed it. So
So Eddie, where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, on Instagram at Eddy Davis, dot LLL for the third, and then TikTok, King dot Eddie. That's my TikTok, guys.
Definitely check out Eddie on Instagram.
and TikTok, yeah,
And TikTok.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, Eddie, thank you so much for this interview. It's been great speaking with you, and we wish you nothing but the best the rest of the way this season. And I'm sure you're real excited to. I know last night was a little bit of a setback, even though you netted a goal. But
Nice goal though. Yes.
yeah, what do you feel is your this team's biggest, moving forward? You feel that they got to go all the way? You feel you guys got it to go all the way?
yeah, I think we got it. Like, I feel like last year I was here a bit towards the latter half of the season, but I feel like our connection and our unity this
Hmm.
season is unlike no other team I've been a part of. Of course, we were unfortunate last game. Of course, games like that happen, but we have a strong unity and we're not going to let that affect us. And we're just looking towards the next one and we're going to try and kill our next opponent. So I think that's our biggest upside with this squad that we have here.
Awesome.
Absolutely. I know we've definitely noticed that as well. I think
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. I mean, keep it rolling. You guys have been a pleasure to watch and yeah, keep
So
moving forward.
thank you so much. It's been great talking to you, and
Yeah,
best of luck the rest of the way. Take
Thank
care.
you guys. Have a great day.
you
Mhm.
too. All right. Well, that was a great interview with Eddie. What do you think?
Um, one of the fun things was the fact that he does not enjoy a blue hug.
Well, he prefers the red or the grape, which I can stand by that.
I can stand by that too, but also the fact that he never heard of hugs before he came here. That was interesting.
Hmm.
But no, honestly, to be honest, just finding out about his family's
Hmm.
success, both his parents, Olympic level athletes, his grandfather managing in Major League Baseball. I mean, that's incredible. So he comes from a very athletic background. And just how hard it was going from LA to coming to the East Coast,
That's a big move for a kid.
especially
Absolutely.
at that age. And
Yeah.
I thought that whole just his background was good. And then talking about, his relationship with the assistant coach of Union 2 and the words of advice. I really thought it was he had an excellent episode.
He did, and I'm looking forward to big things from him, for the future. He's been scoring a lot of goals for Union 2, and, the future is bright.
It really, really is. So we hope you enjoyed it as well. Leave us a comment. If there's any other players you'd love to hear us interview, we'd be happy to interview them. So please leave a comment. And this has been this is all for today's episode of the One Team We Agree On.
Yep, be sure to follow us on our various social media platforms, on Twitter at TOTWAG, on Instagram and Facebook at The One Team We Agree On, and we have our website, theoneteamweagreeon.com, and we have our YouTube channel, The One Team We Agree On. And yes, you can even find me on TikTok.
Mhm.
Yes,
Just like Eddie.
Jillian-Albany. Yes.
And until next time, I'm Kyle,
I'm Jillian.
and we'll see you at the game.